Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover events. Now, events are an important concept to understand in Solidity, so it's best to kind of understand by means of what they actually do and what they're meant designed for. So, events are a way of essentially logging and communicating from our smart contracts to the outside world. So, for instance, if we have a smart contract and we have outside entities such as a decentralized application or a mobile application, we can use events to actually communicate with these two outside entities. So, for example, our smart contract might be something like a decentralized exchange, and this mobile application or this decentralized application might be a trading app that is only interested in certain events, like be it certain trades. So instead of actually continually polling the smart contract, the decentralized application can actually be notified by means of an event if a particular trade happens, for instance. So the next step now is we're going to jump into the code and see how this is actually programmed in Solidity. Okay, now that we've actually done the introduction part, we're going to delve into a little code and we're going to see how we can actually implement some events using Solidity. And to begin with, we're using the Remix online IDE, and we have a blank shell of a contract here. So to begin with, to create an event, we use the keyword event, all lowercase, then we give it a naming convention. So now we're going to call it my event. After this, we define the actual arguments for the event. Now, the arguments for the events are a number of variables and they can be of different type as well. So for this simple example, we're going to begin with a uint called num. We're also going to have an address type variable called from, and we're going to leave it at that for this very simple example event. And we also have to include a semicolon after the final parentheses. Okay, that's more or less the declaration part of the event complete, but each event comprises of two main aspects. One where you declare the event type, and the next when you actually emit an event. And the events have to be actually executed or emitted within the confines of a given function. So we're going to create a function now. So we're going to call function test, and it's going to take in one variable, which is a uint, and we're going to give it underscore num. This is going to be a public function, and in this we're going to have it emit. So when we're emitting an event in Solidity, we have to use the emit keyword here. And then go emit and the variable name with the event name, which is my event. And here we have to pass in the arguments. So every time we're actually firing off this event, it's expecting two arguments, expecting a uint called num, and then it's expecting an address. So for this, we're going to use the underscore num, which is where what we've defined up here, and we're also going to use msg.sender for the second argument, which is the actual address whoever calls the function. So we're going to, and then you must include another semicolon after the emit line. And that's pretty much it for the actual programming. If we save this now, we don't have any errors. So we're just going to compile and we're going to deploy onto the blockchain. Okay, that's deployed successfully. So as you can see, we have our function test here. Our event isn't visible, so we're going to pass the variable 9 in. We're going to see if that is successful, and it looks like it is. It's been successfully accepted by our smart contract. And if we go down here, we can look and we can see that the 9 is indeed present. And the first one, which is the from, the first index, which is from, is also present, which corresponds to the actual address we used to call the contract. So that is pretty much events on a high level overview. One thing worth noting as well is that we can actually, for other users, when they're searching for a given event, they can actually filter through each of these events from your smart contract. So if there's a 10 or so events called, then users are able to filter and search. But for this, we need to include one extra keyword here when we're defining our event, which is called indexed. And anything up to 3 different fields can be indexed when we're using events. So, yep, that is it. And thank you very much for watching.